Call to order tonight's meeting of the Youth Commission on September 11th, 2025 at 7 p.m. And we can review the meeting minutes. Does anyone have any comments or changes?
No.
Neither do I. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 12th, 2025?
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the Southborough Youth Commission meeting minutes from August 12th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Okay. Let's take a roll call vote. Sarah Mikas,
Aye.
Karen Anglin,
Aye.
Melissa Shields, Susan Byer,
Aye.
Lauren Ritchie,
Aye.
Laura Chioco.
Aye.
Okay, that was fast. So, Sarah, we can move on with the director's report.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Busy. Let's see. So, I think one thing to highlight is our new newsletter. I want to give kudos to Emily for working hard on putting something together. The goal is for it to be a every other month newsletter, so 2 months of advertising at a time. Part of this was born out of the fact that we have 1 million flyers and flyers for every program we offer, and wanted it to be all in one place, but also to give some behind the scenes look at things that we're working on and other things that we're involved in, instead of just a sort of snapshot of programs we're offering. I did provide the link to the newsletter that went out at the beginning of September. And I just want to say again, Emily worked really hard on it and put in many hours of looking at the same pages over and over again. So if you have feedback sections, I did mention to her that I think it would be valuable to have some information about the Youth Commission in there, sort of as a revolving thing where we have the members of the Youth Commission listed, and then also some information about Friends of the Southborough Youth Commission in there, and maybe a directory of who our staff is. So we've already got some ideas of things. The newsletter is quite long because of how many different programs we have going on this time of year, and it just sort of made sense to make an appendix at the back of the newsletter and put all of those flyers in one place. But so as you can see, I've included some images from some of those flyers of things that we've been offering. We had a program called Successful Start at the beginning of the school year. There's some lessons learned from the program. Some of the meetings were a little too long, but all in all, we had good success with that. And it was nice to see so many signups. I think you guys know that we offer things often and don't always get people to sign up and come to things. So Trottier's group was at full capacity, which was really great. We actually had 3 staff members come to that one, so that was excellent. We've been doing a lot of outreach with school open houses and curriculum night at Neary. Trottier's curriculum night is next week. We've been preparing for more outreach opportunities with Heritage Day, Trunk or Treat. Encompass, our Substance Use Prevention Coalition, has an annual retreat every year where we feed everybody dinner, and then we talk about what we've done over the last year and sort of preview what's coming up. And we also have an opportunity to unveil some data that we've collected over the last year, which is really helpful in informing upcoming decisions about where to focus our time and energy. So that's coming up. We're doing a lot of programming at the schools and at the library. And I'm trying to think of what in particular to highlight for you guys. I also want to look at the special town meeting is listed as its own agenda item, so we'll wait on that. But the community needs assessment, I just wanted to highlight again that our plan is to present the data that we've been collecting since the beginning of 2025, it feels like, from our focus groups, our key informant interviews, and the survey. We are incredibly grateful to any and all of you who have helped with that data collection process, because what we've heard from Trendline is that we're doing an excellent job. We have more response rates or higher response rates than most other communities, which I feel very proud of. We've also taken a longer period of time to collect that information. And we have that goal of 366 that we're still trying to reach. We're probably about 25 to 30 responses away. So we're chugging along. We may get there, we may not, but we're doing our best. I think that's it. I'm really trying to push some suicide prevention training opportunities. There hasn't been a huge attendance. In fact, one of them we didn't have anybody show up to, but I want to be honest that I'm not deterred by that. These info sessions are being offered in other places and in private appointments with people, which I know is much more comfortable for folks. I'm tooting my own horn, but it's really good information, and I'm excited to offer it at the library, even if it means one or two people are able to make it. That's fine with me, because it's all good stuff. And I finished my QPR training, so I will be bringing that back to the Southborough community at the end of the month for my first QPR training. Are there any questions on anything listed there? It's a lot of information.
Do you know if you have enough outreach volunteers for Heritage Day at this point, Sarah?
Thank you for asking about that. I don't remember. Yeah, so we'll talk about it further down, but I'm happy to talk about it now. We have 2 board members that have offered to be there, and I believe you should correct me, the 2 of you that signed up. We're planning to come for the day, which is extremely generous of both of you. We are going to be doing, because we're trying to prioritize the survey, the Heritage Day is our last event where we are pursuing survey responses. So after Heritage Day, the survey closes, and so we are trying to prioritize that if we can. Of course, there's lots of information we want to share with people. That being said, we are going to have an activity for kids at Heritage Day, an art project of sorts, so that we can occupy kids while parents are nearby, and see if we can get them to take a few minutes to do the survey while they're with us. So we'll see what happens. So I think we are all set. Unless I misspoke, I think we've got 2 board members coming for the day, and then the rest of the activities will be covered by staff. So
All right. Well, I'm happy to help out if you need a backup.
thank you, Sarah. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Any other director's report questions?
I think I missed it, but what number are we at for the community assessment survey
No,
response?
I should look. I'll look while we're talking because I think Karen, was your blood drive today?
Yeah, had a couple. A lot
You
of
had a couple.
non-South, a lot of non-Southborough people. So
Ah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, why I can't donate? I'm like, oh no, this has nothing to do with our blood drive.
Um, yeah, I've got to, oh, here we go. Here's a link you can use. All right. Drum roll, please. It's at 330 responses as of right now. So, and that's a live update. So again, trend line, the lighting in here, it's like I'm telling you a ghost story. Sorry. But Trendline gave us great feedback and said, listen, you guys, you know, what you've got already is tremendous. We love that you're still trying to get to 366 because that was the number we gave you, but you should feel proud of the work you've done already. So that made me feel great. We will still try at Heritage Day and at Try to Your next week during curriculum night, but I feel like we can, we've got a good data set to work with.
Sarah, do we have a timeline for the presentation of the findings from the community needs assessment project?
Yep, that's on November 4th at our next
Okay.
meeting, or our meeting in November.
Okay.
I do want to let you guys know, the select board is interested in viewing the presentation, and there was talk of a potential for a joint meeting, which may mean that we would move over to town hall, and have the presentation up in the hearing room. It is an hour-and-a-half presentation. That does include Q&A, so I don't know that they will decide to do that because it may be too long of a presentation to be part of one of their meetings since they always have a lot on their agendas. But where it stands now, the November meeting, and this will be something that I'll need to talk with Nancy and Karen about when we go to set an agenda for the November meeting, whether this be the only thing on the agenda for November for the Youth Commission meeting, which may make sense because it's again, it's an hour-and-a-half presentation. And you know, we can just save up some of the additional information that we would normally talk about for December's meeting, or we could potentially have a second shorter meeting afterward, or on another day, something like that. But as of right now, that was the hope, is that the presentation would be during the Youth Commission's November meeting. And as of right now, it's at Public Safety.
Does anyone else have questions from the director's report?
I just was wondering, on these surveys, is there a written, edition of it that, I mean, I have some elderly neighbors that they don't go on the computer.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I'm
we
thinking
provided,
if I picked them up and brought them over to them.
yeah,
That they would
absolutely.
probably fill them out. They're both in their 90s, so I mean, they're home.
Sure.
So-
The way we've advertised it, we have given a QR code, a phone number, and an email that people can use so that if they prefer to have a hard copy, we even have pre-addressed envelopes with postage already paid for, so that all they need to do is simply fill it out and put it back in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so happy to do that, Susan. If you want to follow up with me over email, we can get hard copies to people.
Oh,
We can even mail it home to them if that's helpful.
Because I know it was easy for me because I was sent an email and I just clicked on the
Yeah.
link, and I know that, a couple of my neighbors are, like I said, they're in their nineties and they don't
Mhm.
go on the computer.
Yeah,
But
no,
if
we
I
would love
ask
that.
them-
We would
if I-
love that because I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's a demographic of our town that is really valuable feedback for this assessment.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone else have questions?
There, I just thought when you were talking about that, Janet always walks around, or no, Emily walks around with like a Ziploc bag with them all, all the ones because I had them at the blood drive today. I wonder if we could leave a couple at the post office and the library
Possibly.
for residents to pick up because they might just be checking out at the library, checking out books, and then it just says, "Did you fill out your survey?" And then if older residents, I don't know. It's just a thought that instead of running around town, people might pick one up.
Yeah. I'm gonna,
Or the old stand by the transfer station. I mean, if somebody wanted to go up there and hand them out to the guys emptying their trash. But it
we
seems.
actually, Emily and I spent an entire 8-hour day at the transfer station in the rain.
Well, that sounds
Oh.
nice.
It was really
Smelly.
lovely. Yeah, we ran into all sorts of friends that we knew. I don't think I got to see any of you guys there though. I thought I might bump into you. I did get to see Sam Stivers. I don't know if Sam is in the audience, but
Yes.
he came and said hello. Yes, he is there. Hi, Sam. But yes, that was actually very fruitful. And Emily has toyed with the idea of going back to the transfer station for one last time. Because she's an eager beaver with this data and really wants to get to 366. So we'll see what happens. But I like that idea, Karen, of having some at the library. The post office, I would
Yeah, that might
imagine
get
they might,
tricky.
yeah, they might not be as willing to take something else on that's not theirs. But
Do we
Yeah,
have
no,
them at the
there's
town
senior center.
office?
at town hall,
Yeah,
And the senior center we could drop off. They would give them out there.
yeah.
And I'm just wondering, everybody's starting to get their new transfer station stickers, so maybe at the maintenance, what do you call it? The
DPW.
DPW, thank you.
Mm.
I mean, they might not mind, if you had some of them up there. Especially if you have to go in person, to
Yeah,
renew your all important transfer sticker.
that's great.
True.
Great ideas. Thank you.
Does anyone else have ideas? I feel like I need to ask again because the ideas are really flowing.
I didn't really comment on this, but in our director's report, I make some mention of it. We've been spending a lot of time over at Colonial Gardens, which has been very nice. We've been there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now we're going there weekly at 11 o'clock. We've formed some nice relationships with people. I'm going to be offering an info session over there. Rebecca, who's one of our graduate level clinicians, an intern with us, she is going to be doing an art group over there with the plan to enhance community building, because there's a lot of isolation, reported isolation from various residents that they would like to feel more connected. So we'll see if that gets people out. I talked with the office manager about doing an animal therapy program there because so many of them love animals. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I think this is very exciting. So I am interested in applying for some grant funding in conjunction with the housing authority, to see if they can do some minor renovations of a pretty large closet space. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, so that town departments would have a private office to use when coming over to work with Colonial Gardens residents. So I've gained some support from the senior center, from the library, from the rec department, to be able, just sort of co-sponsoring the grant application. We recognize that this is not a town-owned property, so that's why we have the Housing Authority office involved, but it would really enable, and Melissa, I'm thinking of you guys across the street at St. Anne's too. I don't know if that's something that other organizations would be able to use, but I know that there's a lot of need over there, and it would be really nice for people to have access to town services on site, since many of them don't drive.
If you are over there and if you want to drop off some of those surveys at St. Anne while you're there, you can. I haven't had room in the bulletin, but I did put a little note in my work notes that if I do have room to put it in there. But if you're there and you want to drop off some of the physical forms, we do have a lot of people who might be interested in like a paper
Sure.
form versus like a scanned QR code or whatnot.
Sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anyone else with ideas or comments? Even though we're moving it right back to Sarah, do you want to talk about the special town meeting?
Sure. I did want to mention this to you all because this relates to the conversation with the personnel board. So as you may remember, the Youth Commission sent a letter to the personnel board regarding my salary and Megan's salary. And we were very appreciative of the response that the personnel board gave to support an adjustment for not just ourselves, but for other employees that are in a similar, that have worked for the town for a similar time frame. And it then moved over to the select board, and they agreed with that recommendation and have put forth an article in the warrant for the special town meeting to make the adjustment for that group of employees to move up to the midpoint of the salary grid for their respective grades. And so I wanted to mention town meeting to you all for a variety of reasons, because it's a good civic thing to do and to be a good citizen, but to also bring it to the Youth Commission because of that particular article. I think anytime there's sort of something new and a dollar figure attached to it, there's always the potential for it to be met with some pushback or some questions. And so I think it would be beneficial for Youth Commission members to attend that meeting if possible. And if we do have a quorum, we would need to schedule a joint meet, or we would need to post an agenda. So I just want to look back at this and see if there was any other bullet points. Yeah, so need to post a meeting. So that was it. So the special town meeting is on October 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Trottier Middle School. So we will have met again on, yes, on October 14th before that. So it might make sense to hold off, I guess, on seeing who plans on attending, but we will want to make sure that if we need to, we have time to post an agenda if a number of youth commission members plan to attend.
Maybe if she wouldn't mind when Janet sends out the email asking who's going to attend the next meeting, she could also ask who's planning to go to the special town meeting.
Sure.
Is that youth commission meeting on the 14th remote or in person?
I think that one's remote.
I would assume it's remote. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oops. I'm still here. I turned out the wrong thing here. Oh, brother. Okay. Whew. Need to plug in my computer and I unplugged my light.
Did anyone else have a comment or question about the special town meeting? So we can move on to outreach opportunities. I know we talked about Heritage Day a little. But I see a couple of others on there.
Yeah, so I'll just say again, I really appreciate everybody's help. Karen, even as recently as today with the blood drive, sharing the survey, those of you who this evening made some recommendations. It takes a village. It's been very helpful to get all of this good information, and I'm excited to see what the outcomes are. Heritage Day, as I mentioned, I think we have covered, but thank you, Sarah, for offering your time. If anyone else wants to do the same, by all means, come by and visit us anyway, even if we're all set. It's going to be a fun day. Karen, I don't know if I think I heard you're doing jars again. So I think Karen will be there with Girl Scouts.
Yes, I will. And the tricentennial too.
Right. So wearing multiple hats that day. Thank you. Also, Karen is planning to attend the fall, I'm not going to get this right, F to the third here, Finn Fall Festival on September 28th for some outreach opportunity. Something else just came to mind. Oh, trunk or treat. We were all excited for trunk or treat this year. And would you believe, after I had almost purchased, I get very excited about trunk or treat every year. And we had an amazing theme. And then I realized it's my cousin's wedding that day. I can't go to trunk or treat. I was so sad. Anyway, so we reached out to Karen and asked if her Girl Scout troop would be interested in helping. I think a group of young people would be very enthusiastic about, donning a costume and helping pick a new theme. So if anybody else has interest, Karen, I know you're waiting to hear back from your Girl Scout troop. I know you and Hadley have other obligations that day. But if you know of any, young people, I think there's a small handful of us that's still available to go to trunk or treat. And it's a great time. You wouldn't believe the number of people that come through. So it's an excellent outreach opportunity and lots of fun.
Last year it was like 80 degrees and everyone was sweating in their costumes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the first year we did it, it was bitterly cold. And then last year, you just don't know how to dress. It's challenging, but really, really fun.
I'll just say I would love to do that. So if you need someone,
Oh, sure. That would be great. That would be
and if
great.
I go, I would have to bring my mini me with me.
That sounds
Well,
good.
yeah. Nancy, I can coordinate with you because if you have a group of, your
Yeah.
daughter and friends, because
I think I could.
okay, because
My
my daughter
daughter
and I
and a couple more theater kids would probably do it too. So
okay.
yeah.
And I don't need to ask because my daughter and I are away in Maine that weekend anyway. So I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
if you wanted to try to get a couple groups instead of having, I don't want to have too big a group.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to
Oh,
round
there's
up
no
some-
such thing, Karen.
I'll see if Ally could
There's no
recruit a
such
couple
thing.
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a theme planned, but we're gonna reserve that for a future year. So we're starting at square one. So anybody involved gets to have creative license and some say in what theme we go with this year. So we could dress up as a group of minions in overalls and yellow beanie hats, or last year we did Super Mario Brothers, and that was a lot of fun. We've done Barbie theme the year before. So it's a great time. I'm really sad that I'm gonna miss it this year. But I'm writing myself a note to have Emily follow up with both Karen and Nancy about
Perfect.
this.
Great.
I don't know if there's any other, it's a busy time of year for outreach.
Does anyone have any other outreach ideas? Okay, Karen, do you want to talk about Friends?
Sure. We have a first meeting October 7th, and Sarah's going to be giving her info session on the value of validation. So I also wanted to open it up to anybody on our board, if you'd like to join us. So do we have a location yet, Sarah? Or my
We
hosting?
don't, but we
Oh.
can find one.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, place is to be TBD, but so it'll be October
In Southborough. We can tell you that much.
October 7th, and we're gonna do 7 o'clock. Correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So so I just thought it'd be great to get the friends group together to do that as our first kickoff meeting for the year. And if anybody of you would like to join, we would love to have you. We're still trying to recruit. Sarah created a flyer and she has some in her office because we had a couple friends roll off. So if anybody is interested in joining, my name and phone number there, they can ask me about, time commitments, whatever. So, and you can do as little or as much, sometimes it's just for one event or, doesn't have to be every single monthly meeting. So
I did include that flyer in the packet in case anybody wants to utilize it in some way.
but I think that's a great idea you had about the newsletter, Sarah, to include Youth Commission and Friends members, just if people want to reach out. So it's just another reminder. I think that's it. We had some meetings, Sarah, myself, Amy Osdani from Friends, about winter wishes. And so more to come on that. We didn't really iron out too many details. We had a great meeting, but it was just
We had a lot to talk about, but it went in a lot of different directions.
About it.
I'd love to give a plug also at some point, like the value of validation info session. Just thinking about you all and how hard you all work during the day, all the many hats that you wear, and show appreciation to you all. One of the new info sessions is on mindfulness, which I know you probably all have heard that you should do mindfulness. It's really good for you. And this info session is called Why Mindfulness. So sort of an explanation as to the impact it has on all of us, some science behind it, and it's a really critical form of self-care. So right before the holiday season, I am planning to do Why Mindfulness at the library. But I'd be happy to do this in smaller groups too. and I get something out of it as well, because I really, just as much as the rest of you, need a moment to slow down and really make a case for that. So if anybody's interested, whether that's friends or a combination group in a separate setting, separate meeting time, I just want to.
I might
offer
reach
that.
out, Sarah, because I'm going to reach out and see what our friends group would prefer, because that sounds fabulous too. And so maybe that's something that we would do.
Sure.
I like that. I mean, we do, spread ourselves thin and do everything else. And so maybe that's a
Yes.
nice, it would be a nice
Yep.
evening.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll get back to you at the end of the week, or
Okay.
well, it's already Friday tomorrow. So beginning of next week. And then you can, just have it on your radar, which one you're going to do. But thank you
Sounds
for
good.
mentioning that.
Yes.
Okay, we're headed towards the end of our itinerary, so does anyone have anything else to talk about before we move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thanks, Lauren.
I'll second that.
Okay. We'll do a roll call vote. Sarah Micus,
No.
oh, she's muted.
Aye.
Karen England,
Okay.
Melissa Shields,
Aye.
Susan Byer,
Aye.
Lauren Ritchie. Oh, you're
Aye.
already. Laura Chioka,
Aye.
Nancy Sutton. Aye.
Nice to see you all.
Happy
Yes.
You too,
fall.
Sarah.
Nice to
Take
see you.
care.
Good night.
Have a
Good
good one.
night.
Bye.
Bye.